Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about 20 secret features, hidden details, and new things you might not have known about the brand new import and export DLC in Grand Theft Auto Online. That's right, if I can tell you just one new thing you might not have known from this update, then I'll consider it a success, but I'm sure that there's a couple things in this video that you had no clue were even included in this brand new DLC. We're going to be talking about all of them in this video. We've got a ton to go over, so let's not waste any more time, and let's get it started. Okay, up first, and at the number one spot, there's actually been 4 new SecuroServe vehicles added to the CEO menu. So this is actually one of the most useful features in the game, in my opinion, in terms of things that Rockstar allows us to do with the CEO menu. And now they've actually added 4 new vehicles for VIPs and CEOs. You've got the Dundreary Stretch, which is basically a big limo. You have the Mammoth Patriot, which is a Hummer, the Anus Super Diamond, and then the Buckingham Super Velito. So in my opinion, I think the Super Velito is going to be the most useful here because it's another aerial vehicle that you can use. But in case you wanted to switch up your CEO vehicle transportation options, those are 4 new vehicles that you can use. And also 2 vehicles have been added to the SecuroServe section of the interaction menu for associates. That's the second thing we're going to be talking about today, and they have options to spawn the Class A Ranger XL and the Vapid Speedo. So in my opinion, those aren't necessarily as great as the ones for the CEOs, and even the ones for the CEOs aren't really that great in comparison to some of the original ones that were added, but in case, like I said, you were looking for some new options, those are some things you can do. Up next at the number 3 spot, there is the ability to now change your character's appearance in Grand Theft Auto Online. So in order to do this, you have to be outside of a biker gang or a CEO group. So you're not allowed to be in one of those. You need to click on the interaction menu, then go down to style, and you should be able to change your character's appearance for the small fee of $100,000. Now, Rockstar make you pay this fee up front. I'm imagining they do this so that they can prevent people from either glitching this or breaking this in some way. I'm really not too sure. And there's no new things you can do here. It's basically just like being transported to Grand Theft Auto Online on day 1. You get to design your face, your appearance, your features. The only thing you cannot do is change your gender. Rockstar made that very clear that that's something you're not allowed to do, which in my opinion would have been cool. Maybe some people were tired of being a male, tired of being a female. I don't know, or you wanted to try some of the male or female clothings, etc. That's something you could do. But unfortunately, that isn't something they allow. The only thing you can do is change the appearance, features, and other things about your character. The number 4 spot, the Elegy RH8 is now available to purchase at a price for non-social club members. So for the longest time, the Elegy used to only be available for those who were signed up for the social club. And honestly, I don't even know how many people play this game that aren't social club members. But now, because the Elegy is a part of this DLC to create the Elegy Retro Custom, I'm guessing they had to add it into the game somehow. And now, for whatever reason, if you're a non-social club member, you can purchase the RH8. Like I said, I think most people will see this as free on most websites. But in case you're a non-social club member or just don't want to be a social club member, you can still get it in the game and still create the epically cool retro custom. At the number 5 spot, players can now combine certain mask, helmet, and glasses combinations. So this is actually really cool, and it seems as if Rockstar is listening to us that we want to have fewer restrictions with clothing, because now there are many different styles you can do in the game. Like hoodies can be worn with hats, masks can be worn with sunglasses, you can wear a mask and a helmet, you can wear the ski mask and a hat. There's a whole bunch of different combinations that you can ultimately do here to create some really cool looks in Grand Theft Auto Online. So it does look as if Rockstar is listening, and now you can do some cool new outfit combinations for your characters in-game that are not considered glitches, which is great, which means your outfits might not end up being removed. And that's a great segue to the next thing we want to talk about today, and that is new CEO outfits. So Rockstar have added new CEO outfits into the game with the corresponding clothing from import and export. Some of them are pretty cool, and some of them also show off the brand new clothing features you can do, like masks and helmets, glasses and hats, and stuff like that. So it does really look cool. And if you want to get some ideas or inspirations for things you can do, or just change up your look when you're doing CEO stuff, that's a great way in which you can go about doing it, and you can have some more awesome combinations there. Up next, I think this feature is pretty awesome, and that is now there is an Illuminated Clothing interaction menu feature. So basically what this will do will allow you to change the brightness or glowness of your outfits in game. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, what outfits do this? Well, the recently added Deadline outfits glow, and this is a way in which you can actually modify them. So there's a couple options here. There's on, off, Pulse, and then Flash. I think that Pulse is my favorite because it kind of looks like a heartbeat. It's really, really cool. And because not a lot of people know about this yet, you can really freak some people out. Like you can even see in the game right now, one of the individuals who was here with me, they were like, what the heck? You're glowing, you're pulsing, you're flashing on and off. So they were wondering what the heck was going on. And this is a great way in which you can really change up the deadline outfits. But I also think this is for a future outfit that has been found in the game. This is from Wildbrick142. I'm not sure if this outfit is going to be coming along with a future adversary mode or if it's going to be added into the game sometime soon, but it was added with the import and export DLC. And this looks to be another outfit that could take advantage of this kind of glowing new lighting interaction menu feature. So we are just going to have to stay tuned for that. Again, I'm not really too sure what's going on here, but this is still pretty awesome. And the fact that you can change the glow of your outfit is pretty epic. At the number 9 spot, another amazing feature that is returning is stancing vehicles. So the old way in which you can lower vehicles is now back. All you have to do is essentially shoot at the center of the rims or the wheels on a car. And as long as you don't go overboard here and you just wait for the vehicle to drop, unfortunately, I did not do that on this first attempt right here, but you can use this to stance vehicles, essentially making them lower than normally allowed to the ground, which is super cool. Makes the car a little bit driftier, gives it a more unique look. So this feature was removed with bikers, but a Rockstar even admitted it was a mistake, and now it has been added back into the game. So if you are a fan of stancing your cars or lowering them, this is something you can do. It's a great feature that they have once again added back into the game. Moving on up next at the number 10 spot, it looks as if Rockstar have lowered the prices for using your personal assistant in the office to use the Pegasus Concierge service. So as you can see right now, the prices are so low for really a lot of the things I want to do in here, like ordering a Buzzard or a Swift or a Super Velito, $200, $500. Those used to be like $3,000, which is insane because now you can order 6 Buzzards for originally what was the price of one. So I don't know what prompted Rockstar to make this change here. I thought this was once again very, very interesting. So I'm not entirely too sure what they were doing with something like this, but now it is a whole lot cheaper, and that is super cool. At the number 11 and 12 spot, we have some cool features regarding the Ruiner 2000. The first of which is kind of an interesting point, and that is the fact that it only can have 8 rockets at a time without going back to storage. So that was one of the things with the Ruiner 2000. How overpowered was it going to be? Well, it seems as if Rockstar have limited its rocket capacity, and now it can only have 8 without having to go back into storage, into the special warehouse in order to get more. So if you want to get more, you have to go back to the warehouse, bring it back out. I'm guessing this is Rockstar's way of trying to keep this thing as not overpowered as possible, even though it isn't that overpowered in my opinion. It's still relatively pricey. So it is interesting that it is limited that much in terms of its rocket carrying capacity. So that's one thing I thought was interesting. But another great feature of this is if you set the Ruiner 2000 to have no one enter the vehicle other than yourself, if someone tries to enter in the Ruiner 2000, they will not only get rejected from entering the vehicle, but they will get electrocuted as well, like they were shot with a stun gun. So this is amazing. Again, this is something you can get for this $5.7 million vehicle, but it's the hidden things like this that really do make me laugh. So if someone tries to grab onto this vehicle and take it, it's going to shock them, which is actually really funny. And honestly, one thing you can do because this car is so expensive and rare right now is just leave it out in a really popular spot like the Los Santos Custom Shop and wait for a bunch of people to run up to it and get shocked. It's a ton of fun, and I definitely recommend you try it out. Now, something that isn't cool, but I thought I would tell you guys about today, and that is that the ramp buggy is kind of limited. It can only run into 30 cars without exploding. So I'll be talking about this in a video later in kind of like a buyer beware sort of fashion, but you need to know the limitations of the ramp buggy. It is certainly not unlimited, and the more you run into these vehicles, it's going to explode. And I found out that about 30 to 35 vehicles will eventually do it before you start smoking, and then eventually before you blow up. So that, of course, is a little bit unfortunate. So just keep that in mind when you're buying the ramp buggy. Up next, I know this might seem obvious, but you can use the cargo bob for doing the exporting missions for the special vehicles and for the exotic cars that you order on the computer. So the reason I say this might sound obvious is because, well, duh, you can cargo bob cars in game. But recently with some of the DLCs, Rockstar have really limited the cargo bob. Like with Finance and Felony, you couldn't really pick up any of the other cargo crates or special vehicles. So for the longest time, this was something that they really didn't allow. But now it seems that with import and export, import, Rockstar are finally now allowing us to use the cargo bob for what it's originally designed for, which is to pick up things. And this is also a great way how you can export vehicles without getting damage on them. That's one of the big things about these vehicle missions, is that if you wreck them, you're going to have to pay the repair costs. And obviously airlifting them in a cargo bob is going to make sure you have very minimal damage. So that's a great idea that you can try. So that's really cool. Up next, there's actually two really cool references to the Fast and Furious franchise on the Elegy RH8 Retro Custom, both of them in the form of liveries. This first one right here is called Midnight Racer, and this is a reference to Brian O'Connor's silver Nissan Skyline GTR in one of the Fast and Furious movies that looks extremely similar to that. So I'm sure many of you guys caught on to this look. So that one is pretty awesome right there. I've been seeing a lot of those Elegies like that driving around on the street. And then this next one right here is called Not Tonight Pizza Boy, which is also another reference to a very similar designed vehicle in the Fast and Furious franchise that has this kind of pseudo rocket on the side. And if you make it yellow, you can really make sure that that Easter egg kind of stands out right there. So that's pretty cool. We've seen Rockstar do multiple references to the Fast and Furious franchise in the past. So it's no exception that with this new Elegy Custom that we were going to be getting a couple right there. So that is pretty awesome. Up next, if you bought one of the new 60-car garages, you're probably wondering how you can get all your vehicles from your old garages to your new garage without spending hours upon hours moving them back and forth. What you can actually use is your personal assistant inside of the office. So instead of going from garage to garage, all you can do is go up to your office, use the personal assistant at the desk, and order one of your personal vehicles. And it'll be delivered right outside, and then you can just drive it straight into the garage. This will save you time, energy, probably a lot of effort, and there's no cooldown period as well. So you can do this over and over and over again until your garage is finally full. So I thought that tip right there was super perfect for something like this. Up next, one tip I can give you is to do the special vehicle missions. So the special vehicle missions will actually allow you to get the vehicles for cheaper. So that being like the Ramp Buggy, the Ruiner 2000. And if you do the math, it's actually a 25% discount. So if you want to save in total millions of dollars if you plan on purchasing all these vehicles, do the mini heist first. They're available on the SecuroServe computer. So that's something you definitely want to do before you end up buying these Pegasus vehicles. And that's a great segue into the next thing we're going to be talking about, because you can kind of do those missions in between doing this, because there is a massive cooldown timer for selling exotic cars. So I kind of found this out the hard way yesterday on my live stream when I was selling these vehicles. I sold 4 cars and the cooldown time was 48 minutes before I could sell any others. So this would be a great opportunity to, instead of selling cars, maybe you could work on doing those rare special missions. But just letting you know, you need to time this well, because if not, you're going to be stuck in this limbo period where you can't sell any vehicles. So do keep that in mind when you are doing the selling stuff. That's another great segue though, because as I'm recording this video, there are a lot of bugs with the buying and selling missions for both the rare vehicles and the just normal exotic ones. Sometimes the cars won't spawn on the map. Sometimes, you won't have the ability to do them. It seems as if now when I'm recording this video, they have been fixed, but you still might find yourself running across a ton of mission bugs. And in order to fix that, basically the best way to do is just find a new session and that thing will be reset. So unfortunately, you will lose the car you're going for, but at least you won't be stuck in this purgatory of finding a car that doesn't exist and isn't spawned in the world. So hopefully that saves you guys a lot of headache and hassle. At the number 19 spot, I kind of found this one funny. Rockstar have made it easier to buy shark cards. So now when you open up the start menu, there's literally a tab that says shark cards. So again, I'm really not too sure what the point of this was. Maybe Rockstar wanted to sell more shark cards, so this made it easier for people to see. And they've added kind of a funny description as well, saying like, shark cards rule the world in Grand Theft Auto Online. So again, that's another small change they made to the game. And finally, last but not least, at the number 20 spot, I think this one is really useful. The custom auto shop is actually amazing. So obviously it has all the features of the Los Santos custom shop, but it also has all the features of Benny's shop as well. So if you bring a vehicle that has already been Bennyfied, meaning it already has the custom upgrade, you can use the custom auto shop in your new office to do all the Benny's upgrades. So the only thing you're going to have to do is originally go to Benny's to do that, like that first upgrade. But once you've done that, you can just immediately use your custom office garage and you can make all the remaining upgrades from there. So that is great and that is super awesome. And I know that's going to save you guys a lot of time, because sometimes Benny's can be crowded or, people control it and blow it up. So that's a great way in which you can avoid all of those things. But anyways, that's all the information that I'm going to be talking about for you guys in this video today. That is 20 secret details, hidden features, and new things you might not have known about the new Grand Theft Auto Online Import and Export DLC. As I mentioned earlier, if you learned one new thing from this update, hopefully you learned more than that, but if you learned at least one new thing, be sure to drop a like on the video. That would be awesome. As well as subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. I'm shooting for one more video today and then a super fun live stream, so stick around on my channel for that. Should be a lot of fun. But of course, with out of the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.